and so I was always worrying about what people thought about me.
My walk with God wasn't necessarily all that good.
Not doing what was right.
Sort of sometimes lose my focus.
And it's harder because my mom's divorced and everything like that.
It makes it hard for them to relate to any type of authority.
All the drugs that he was doing, the cigarettes, the alcohol, the marijuana, everything.
Parent-related problems. They have a hard time growing up in their homes with the parents that they have, thinking that they can't grow up with the parents that they have.
Being involved with the wrong friend.
I was pretty arrogant. I was full of a lot of self-pride.
Sort of sometimes lose my focus.
I had a lot of pride. I didn't want to tell anybody what I was thinking.
I was just going through the motions.
For a while there, I wanted to quit because it's like everybody was against me.
Really apathetic towards Christianity.
For a long time I was dealing with doubt.
Kids were rebellious towards their parents, broken homes.
Because I was not doing what was right.
If we're not careful to reach this generation, we may find that our church is one generation from extinction.
You're given the opportunity tonight to trust in Jesus Christ as Savior, and you say no to that opportunity. And someday you die and go to that awful place called hell. Listen. Friend, you will remember this service.
Tuesday night in chapel, and the pastor was talking about how you're should have a relationship with God when you're saved, and I realized I didn't have one.
It brought me to know that I needed God and that I wasn't saved and that I needed to be.
It just made me kind of think, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to make the decision of salvation.
The greatest time of all is that morning chapel service and that evening preaching time when God's Spirit uses His Word to reach into the heart of that young man, that young lady, to cause that individual to realize, there's a God in heaven who's interested in me as an individual. And the best thing I can do is find out who He is, find out what He wants to have accomplished in my life, to discover what it is to have a personal relationship with Him.
I came here and that I had this camp to help me out in my decision-making. Ironwood's atmosphere, just confronting me with everything and getting me away from my lifestyle before, put me in a position where it was either no or yes, and I had to make the decision.
And I was foolish to think that I can take on God. But after I came out to Ironwood and after got saved and accepted Christ as my Savior, my life has just been a total 180-degree turn.
Dedicated my life to God, and so ever since then it's been like a change.
And that just really spoke to my heart, really got to me. God grabbed a hold of me, and I decided to shape up and get right with God then, and surrendered everything, my whole life to Him.
Like on the second day of camp, I accepted God.
I want to live more like Christ. I want to be a good influence on people. I'm going to try and be better.
I decided to give up. I come from the streets before I was saved, and I decided to leave that and change my friends, and I started hanging out with kids.
I had the worst relationship ever with my mom, and I came to camp and my counselor encouraged me. She said, just try and make things right. So the first thing I did when I got home was I hugged my mom and I told her I was sorry. And to this day, my mom is my best friend now. And I'll have it because I came to Ironwood and I was surrounded by godly people who love me, and they helped me to turn that relationship around to honor God.
And it really made a difference in my life, it really did. And it's so easy to make lots of decisions when you come to camp. But then what's really exciting is when the Lord gives you power and courage enough to keep them when you get home.
And so I know that the life-changing decisions take place in camp. It's easy to make decisions here.